All right, I want to thank our fans that came out today, came out to a homecoming game. I'm very disappointed in our performance. And with that, I'll open up for questions.
Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. Chad, with the way things have gone at quarterback and some other young players, do you feel like the team's being put in the best possible position to win with the best players?
Are you referencing at the quarterback position?
Quarterback, Traylon Burks.
Well, I think I think when you look at Traylon Burks and look at the how many all-purpose yards he has, our opportunity to try to get him the football as much as we possibly can. And I do think, as I've said before, that the inconsistencies at the quarterback position have not benefited us.
Yeah, Chad, well, I guess what happened with O'Grady? What's his status with the team? If you could give us an update on that.
Yeah, he was suspended today, and we will meet tomorrow.
So he's still on the team?
We'll meet tomorrow.
Can you give us a reason?
No.
Chad, how do you go about describing what happened defensively today, the way they ran on you?
Well, very disappointed. We knew they were a run first football team, and that was it led the league in rushing, and it was evident that we couldn't stop the run today. Very disappointed in that.
Chad, what was your thoughts on KJ and John Steven, and do you go with those guys moving forward based on how Hicks plays? Do you still feel like he's the best option for you?
Well, we'll get back in here tomorrow and go through that. I felt that Ben was healthy today, but I thought that both John Steven and KJ came in and gave us a spark. I was proud of both of those guys.
Yeah, Chad, specifically, what'd you like about KJ? I realize it was late in a lopsided game and they didn't have all their starters out there, but how'd you think he played? He seemed like the stadium was excited. And do you have any regrets about not playing him maybe earlier in the season based on how he played?
I don't have any regrets of not playing him earlier in the season. I thought he played well today. I thought he did some. We kept it as simple as possible with him, but I thought he did a really good job. Obviously, he let us down, had a big run, and scored a touchdown. I thought it was, pretty impressive for your first drive.
Coach, do you think about getting Hicks out of there sooner? It seemed like things were not going well, and you could have maybe made a change, or could have given us maybe a better chance to get rolling.
Well, I thought we dropped too many footballs. I thought that he was putting the ball where it needed to be early, and we dropped the balls, couldn't get the chains moving. And then when we did get some type of success, we couldn't hold the momentum very long. And 17-7, and next thing you know, it's 5 plays later they score on us. So it wasn't until right there at the end that I decided I was going to make a move.
Yeah, Chad, look like Davion maybe got hurt on the kickoff return. Do you know what his injury is, and can you update us on any other injuries?
I know that Davion had an ankle sprain. Grant Morgan did not return with a thumb, and that's kind of where I'm at right now with that, I believe.
In the last 3 games, I think Alabama and Auburn jumped out 17-zip, and then today Mississippi State 17-zip a minute into the second quarter. How tough is that when teams are jumping on you early like that?
Well, when you get put behind that quick, it's difficult. And I thought that they owned the time of possession in the first half, for the most part, the entire game. And I think that we had the ball. There was 2 series, and you're down. And it's tough when you're falling behind and trying to create some type of momentum. It's hard to do.
Coach, is there a concern at all that there may be a little bit of regression going on from early in the season? You had some 4-point loss, some close losses, and then these last 2. Of course, Alabama and Auburn maybe a little bit more better team than Mississippi State, but Mississippi State comes in here and blows you guys out at home. Is there concern about letting go of the rope with this team? Well,
nothing has shown that the lack of performance or that we showed today. We've had tremendous work week, but I thought we had a lot of young players playing extremely hard today, and we'll keep building on that.
Coach, maybe this is a question for Monday, but you talk about holding people accountable, everyone in the building. Do you consider coaching changes after today's game?
I'm not going to answer that today.
Chad, you had billed this game as the start of a month. There was a lot of enthusiasm and stuff. Even the fans, I think, were kind of hyped up.
how do you explain just starting so sluggishly and not being in the game after the first quarter?
I was extremely disappointed, and it was nothing about today's performance was a part of any part of our practice this past week. We had great energy, and it was great attention to detail. Meetings were really good. Very disappointed.
In particular, what did you see from John Steven today when he came in?
Well, his grit. Obviously, he's got a lot of grit and toughness, and I think that he's settled in and did a really good job on the fourth down throw. I thought it was a great throw. So really proud of him.
How surprised are you that Mississippi State was able to rack up the yardage that they did specifically on the ground?
I was really extremely surprised. We knew that they were a run heavy first, and we knew that. They didn't do anything different, and very disappointing.
Yeah, Coach, just follow up on that almost 500 yards rushing. Do you feel is it a scheme issue? Is it a talent issue? Is it an effort issue? What do you think on the run today, almost 500 yards rushing? When you look at that and evaluate it, you haven't looked at the film, but so your first just option by looking at that, what do you think of those three options it is when you give up that many yards rushing today?
Well, I think first of all, it's those guys. Again, disappointed in the fact of us unable to stop the run. Thought that we got knocked out of our gap a little bit. I think that we misfit some things on the back end. I don't think there's really one thing. I think it's a collection of things, and again, just I would have to watch the film and watch it, but just standing on the sidelines, I was very disappointed in the performance.
Chad, how much work has KJ gotten with like the first or second team offense in recent weeks? Would you consider starting him next week or John Steven, or is it all just kind of reevaluate again at quarterback?
Well, we'll get in tomorrow and decide that, but he's gotten substantial reps over the last few weeks.
Could you kind of see him progressing, growing?
I thought he did some good things today in the two drives that he was in, as well as John Steven.
They started Tommy Stevens at quarterback, and I think Schrader had started the last three. Did you anticipate any change there, and what did you think of Steele?
Well, I thought they obviously did what they asked him to do, and he ran the ball well, and operated their offense extremely well. And we knew Hill was one of the better backs in our league, and we had an idea that they may start him.
Yeah, I know these are good SEC teams. You're playing great teams in some cases like Alabama and Auburn, but when you lose three straight by 100+, I mean, what's the team morale like? What's the morale like of you and the coaching staff, and just kind of how do you hold things together?
Well, we've got 3 games left. We got 2 games in front of our home crowd, and it's about having some pride and playing and responding.
One more question for Coach Morris.